Hey now, and we are live on a Wednesday.
What's up?
What's happening, guys?
What's happening?
Not much.
What's up, fellas?
On the tail end of EVH Con 2021, Wednesday, November the 10th. Hope everyone's doing good. John, who's behind the box?
Oh, we got a special surprise in the box today.
Who's behind the box?
We have the MVP, in my opinion, of the EVH Con this year.
Uh-oh.
Drum roll, please. Pete Carrucciu.
Where is
That's
it?
the
There it
Italian
is.
pronunciation of
There
my
you
name.
go. See?
The man.
The Italian pronunciation is Carrucciu, but people would say "God bless you" when I say it that way. So
I had a neighbor whose last name was Cucciu.
close. Carrucciu. That's it's Sardinia. That's my father's parents were a little island off Italy. It's actually a beautiful island. And then my mother was Napolitan, but I got the Sardinian Italian name. 2 vowels. It's ultra Italian at the end of my.
Nice.
What's going on, John?
Welcome,
Your recorded music. The beginning of it kind of reminds me of Eddie's Les Paul tribute a little bit.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like right after he does the Hot for Teacher run, then they start doing that little jam, right? Am I thinking that when he did that tribute to Les Paul?
I remember there was something with Jan Hammer, and he had 11 on bass. I remember they did like a hot for teacher.
That is similar foot. That's awesome. I like that intro a lot, big time. It was good.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it is badass. Yeah.
So yeah, getting over the con hangover.
The con hangover. So you've been to all of them, Pete?
Everyone since the beginning.
Nice. Right on.
It started pretty small, and I mean this year was nice. There was still about John. There had to be maybe 30 people there at one point, right? Or
in the room at one time, yeah, probably. I think it was a little more than that, even to be honest with you. I know it's just because of COVID, you're trying to, Joe wanted to keep it safe and so that people didn't have to worry about it. But it could have been a lot bigger too. I think this this thing is ready to really explode.
Well, the last time, there was almost 60 there, where it almost, Joe was starting to think he was getting close to outgrowing the store. And there was even some talks. Evidently, there's a little music hall down the block. He's done some shows there with the kids. And before COVID, and he was, I actually had like a nice stage, a house PA. And I was like, I think I might have to, if it keeps going this way, I might have to potentially move the venue. I mean, it's got a nice size store, but you put 60 people in there, it gets crowded quick.
Yeah.
So
great time though.
It's a lot of fun. It really is. You walk out of there, your brain scrambled with Edlicks, because there's a few, when Joe Sumo was on your show, he mentioned Jimmy Bombas, and like clockwork every year. He comes in with his rig, he sets it up in the same spot, and he got his rig going. Suma's a big combo guy, so he's always got a combo, EVH combo on the floor. And then, I think Joe had a 50-watt rig, a little pedal board. And I'm a little bit of a lunatic with a
little bit?
On the rig side of EV.
Yeah, show him a picture of your basement. You got to have one there somewhere. Show him a picture. You got to see his setup. He calls it 5150 East, and you'll see why.
They had to have seen it now.
Yeah, they should have seen. You got to find a picture of this. You got to see this.
My phone's on the charger out there. I'll go grab it in a couple of minutes.
Yeah,
but I know my dry wet setup. I basically have a. If it's it's a 90% version of his 2015 rig, you know, but I actually have the harmonizer, so I actually get a little taste of, you know, the balance era, you know, sound with it too. So it's a hybrid, but the bottom line is it's ridiculous. So I think year 2 or maybe year 3, this was 6, right? So year 2, I think I brought my big rig. Might have did that twice.
Yep.
And then, you know, Craig basically has the Cardinal now, Craig Stoffco. So he's got a nice wet, dry, wet setup, and he's, you know, with the, he has a 5152, so he's definitely the carnal knowledge era rig. So he brought that in the last 2 years, and forget it, when we had the big rigs, we were just blowing the place up. Like you couldn't even think being in the room. You loved it because it sounded great, but it was a little much. And then this year, I backlined it just with a you know, an EVH 5150. 50 watt rather, just a stock 6L650. I like the Synergy systems. I don't know if you guys have heard of Synergy, like modular based stuff. It's really nice. It's tube, you know, modular based tube. That's not a preamp. It's like cartridges. You could get, you know, I got a Soldano slow module. You'd think you're playing through a super lead. So you can actually flip between my super lead and the head, depending on what you want. You know, a modest pedal board, and you know, everyone got up there and ripped. It was a good time. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So you had the drummer from that's Jimmy's from Halen CT, the drummer, right?
Yes.
And then and the bass player Jeff, who's always there from Halen CT. He's there generally every year. Jeff, he's a great bass player. And we had the singer from Joe Girard's band up in he's Massachusetts, all right? Yep. And they're Romeo Delight up there, and so he had his singer. And
Everybody Wants Some.
Everybody Wants Some. I'm sorry, that's it. Everybody Wants Some. That's Joe's band. So he came down. So it was a nice kind of a mix of players from different Van Halen cover bands, East Coast ones. So it was pretty cool. And then, you know, a lot of their regular cast of characters. They're there every year, pretty much, right? Some new people too. There you go.
Whose is that, John?
That's Jimmy's new pick. That's pretty sick.
Oh, I'm not allowed to show this yet.
It's a surprise. And in the next few weeks, we're gonna have some of these guys on. I think from the cover bands, some of these East Coast cover bands, anyway, Van Halen. So,
who are you thinking about bringing on, Joe? And
yeah, I mean, I want to see if maybe some Bill Kelly or one of those guys from the Sammy era. One of those guys. Maybe you can talk to one of them and see if they'll come on. And
any of those guys will come on. They would love that.
Yeah. I mean, just get on and maybe they could tell some funny, you know, some stories and stuff like that of gigs that they've had, and you know, little stuff like that. A little round table kind of discussion with those guys. So we're gonna set something like that up.
Yeah, they love the I mean, listen, they're definitely good for 15, 18 shows a year.
Yeah.
Van Hagar, they go up north a lot, you know, Massachusetts, Rhode Island.
I actually saw them up here too. And I'll tell you what, they are better live than any video I've ever seen of them. I was really impressed with them live. I was like, the videos don't do them justice.
Nice.
Well, because it's just a little iPhone, you know, it's not a professional thing. I mean, you know, they play at Billy's house, and shockingly enough, it's a really small room. So, you know, you get a lot of phasing you canceling out with the iPhone, but live.
Yeah, I've heard about those guys.
Yeah, they kill it. And, you know, especially Massachusetts, the crowds are insane that go see them. Like they want to take pictures with them, like they're Van Halen. Like when they come home from that trip, they all feel like are we famous or something? Like they just feel they feel good. I mean, Long Island. So I'm on Long Island, and the music scene by me is beyond saturated. I mean, we have hundreds of different bands and tributes jockeying for position, and we'll call it 7 premier clubs to play at. Long Island based, and it's and then you have 2 or 3 bands in any given place on a bill in a night, and it's just certain bands will draw, but it's just the crowd split up. It's everyone's fighting for crowds, but when you go out of state, it's just it's not as saturated in certain places. So when like a Van Hagar shows up, forget it. If 300, 400, 500 people show up to a huge bar and sing louder than the band, it's wild. I went up a couple of times and saw them. It's a different universe. But look, New York area is tough. There's nothing in Manhattan that's doing this.
There's nothing in Westchester here where I am either doing it.
Yeah, it's all all the jazz and indie type stuff. You know what I mean? It's
Well, everybody around the country hears about it. We've heard about it every year. Interested in it, enjoy the coverage of it every year.
EVH
Look forward to it, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be huge. I mean, when you really think about it.
I really believe that, because especially now that Ed passed away, I think that people just have this like craving for Van Halen that they're not going to get anymore, because there is no more Van Halen, and anything that's related to that and the music, and I think people are really really into that, and I do believe that something like this could really explode.
Yeah, I mean, even listen, especially like bringing something like an EVH gear into it. So it's interesting. So you're really getting a bunch of Eddie Van Halen geeks, and they get to display, some of their collections. Everyone always has. Well, check out this piece. This year it was Rob's Dragon, right? So we finally had that, which was insane.
That was awesome.
You guys see that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a picture of it somewhere.
You got one there, John?
Yeah. Keep talking. I'll find something. I'll find it.
Yeah.
So everyone.
That was gorgeous.
Yeah, they just bring this stuff, and it just, everyone gets to see everyone's stuff. John, I guess, we could bring up that Steve Nowicki was there, right? I don't think he has any problem with that.
No, I wouldn't think so. I mean, it's pretty well known that he's a huge EVH Eddie fan, and he's from the Howard Stern show, Steve Nowicki, and he's just as much of a nut, if not more, than everybody else too. He builds replica guitars. He's totally into it, and he's got some cool stuff.
Oh, he's the younger guy from the Stern show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen him when Howard was asking him about his replica, and he was like, "You're just gonna make fun of me. You're just gonna make fun of me."
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
The guy.
He's like cool guy. Yeah, I knew who you're talking about now.
Yeah.
I think it was the day after he passed. The
That's when it was. Yep.
Yeah, and he was like, this kind of stuff that he was known for, and he played it, and he noodled a couple of things, and talked about his tapping, and so that was kind of cool. He showed up this year.
He's like, I know Steve likes to stay behind the scenes, and he does a great job at his job, but he goes, I had to come to you, Steve, because you're obsessed with Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah. So that was cool. He enjoyed himself. He had a really nice. Yeah, that's Rob's.
Let me
Wow.
Let me change the view here, and do that.
Wow.
Look at all that detail. I don't know if you can hold on. See if we can see the head of the.
Wow.
Yeah. Nice.
And who built that?
I don't know who built that. Do you know who built it, Pete?
I don't off the top of my head.
There's Jimmy Carr in the background.
Yeah. Chimica.
Jimmy Carr.
He's a sweetheart.
Yeah. And ironically, look who's up on the stage. Look, when this picture was taken, look who's up on the stage right there.
Who's
Oh,
that?
look at that.
That's Pete.
Pete.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What were you playing on there, Pete? You were playing your runaround. Your
Run
guitar.
around in hell.
Look at that guitar, guys.
Nice.
That's the drummer. Jimmy's drummer was the happiest guy
Yeah,
on earth.
dude.
It was the drummer was just smiling all day and it just made me laugh. He reeked of happiness. It was and he was good to boot.
And that's Stofko's guitar, right?
Cool.
There's Pete up on stage with the runaround guitar, and this is the
That's the evil Ernie.
Evil Ernie. This is the Evil Ernie at Stofko's, Craig Stofko's.
What are you doing? What are you doing? The ice cream man run right there?
I may have been trying to attempt it there. Yeah, probably. And I love the neck on that guitar. That's for sure.
Yeah, it feels good.
It was beautiful. Let's see what else we got. And then you guys saw the 5150 wall up there, right? And there's a couple Frankensteins up there.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
These are
Insane.
really impressive up close. You know,
Oh yeah.
different eras. You know, like the one on the one end with the zebra pickup in it. That's the. Is that the one with the 7 with the broken?
Painting on the neck too.
Yeah, with the broken.
What, the 7-pin?
Yeah, the broken tuner up in the top there. See it on the bottom. See the tuner right there.
Yeah.
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 Right up there, yeah. And it's let me see. I mean, even the grain is like, you know, carved in with an X-Acto knife. The grain of the guitar. It's just incredible work. The detail on this is just like second to none.
Who's that one?
I think that's Dave Nesdall's, I believe that one was. But here's Stofko. This is the one Stofko did that the guys from Sammy Hagar signed it right there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the guys from Slaughter played it live. They played this guitar. They all signed it. A bunch of different people signed it.
Oh,
But
cool. Oh yeah, I remember seeing that backstage with the
right, that's that one.
Iggy brought it too. Yeah.
Yep. And then, you know, there's a couple others, and then there's a couple. It's my Frankenstein and Craig's Frankenstein. He like relicked his a lot more than I did mine.
Mm-hmm.
He went to town on it. Those two. But let's see. Then we got there's another Halen CT guitar pick, Jimmy Vonvis's pick. Look at that.
Nice.
No bozos there. Let's see. Yeah. A lot of people have guitar picks there. And let's see. There's Jimmy's rig with the Kemper that he plays with. That Kemper thing's pretty impressive. That's what Simon used on his Van Halen 1. That's the same kind of head there. It's a modeling head. There's Joe Suma playing the runaround.
Yeah, I know.
Is that what you call it, Pete?
Yeah, we can't call it the Demon because we got rid of the Demon. So we're trying to figure out a name. We'll call it the Runaround in Hell because it's the same paint scheme.
There you go. And there's Stofko's, that one there. Is unbelievable, the finish on that one.
Nice.
And then here's a bunch more. Here's some Wolfgangs.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's that Paul doing there?
That's got a sustainer in it. That one there, a Fernandez a sustainer in there. That was pretty cool. And then you got Pete. That's your stealth and my stealth. Yours and then
That's
mine.
my stealth right there. Yeah.
Ours are next to each other there. And let's see what else we got.
Has anyone seen the guy that owns 3 Monkey amps, Ozzy? His mini, it's like the size of a petulant Les Paul, but it's a 5150 Kramer.
I haven't seen that. No.
I haven't seen that.
Do you guys not follow him?
No, I don't know him.
Ozzy Onsen, I think.
Oh, I got to check him out.
Oh, you guys are missing out. He does nerding stuff out all the time. He does. Okay, we're gonna
Nice.
do the
That's
Van
a
Halen 1.
cake.
We're gonna do the Van Halen 2 sound.
Tom, you got to send us send me a link or something to that.
It looks exactly like a 5150 Kramer guitar, but it's scaled down to be able to play little guitars on it. And he made it himself. It's got a locking tremolo and everything, like regular Floyd Rose and everything.
So Rob Johnson had the I guess Petrolat gave I think Donnie Ward the specs on the little Les Paul. So I don't know if I have a photo of it, but that thing was really impressed. That thing blew me away. I was very impressed with that thing. It played really nice. I just sat there and messed around.
It had a speaker in it.
Yeah, just like the real one had the speaker in it too. Exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
The real one, Eddie's first one, had the speaker in it.
Yeah, he said he's leaving it.
Or is he doing specs from by hand?
What's that?
Does Donnie do them by hand, or does he have a CNC?
I think he has a CNC. I believe so.
He does.
Sorry about this, guys.
That's the smart way to go.
Yeah, I think so. There's just another shot.
And accuracy. That's cool. Very cool.
On stage. That's during Summer Nights. I'm gonna play a little clip of that right now, guys. All right, Summer Nights here. Hold on.
Just mute it every 3 seconds or whatever it is. Nice. Yell that beat, or we could just talk over it as it's playing. We'll screw up with the algorithm if you do that.
It's good.
Yeah.
Sounded really great.
Pete, I love that you always look like you're having fun.
I know how good you are, Pete. I had to butcher it a little bit. Yeah.
Pete, you're too close, man. He doesn't want to get flagged.
What's that?
You're too close, man. He doesn't want to get flagged. It sounds too good.
Yeah.
If you look for the real thing, you'll get flagged.
No, yeah. You're too good, Pete.
You're too good. That's why you have to mute it.
Yeah, dude.
You sound great, man.
It's funny because
that sounded great.
I mean, I messed around with it. I mean, well, that was Scott Smith's Steinberger. That wasn't Rob's.
Oh, that was Scott Smith's. Right there's Scott right there, and Jimmy Vombis and me and Les Paul Gibson.
Yeah, it's a great picture.
Scott brought the drill, right? That Eddie used.
Yeah, we saw it. Yeah,
you guys saw that.
Nice.
There's Stafko and Joe Suma.
Yeah.
What else have we got here? It's just a giant wall shot here of one of the walls.
Yeah, nice.
Man,
that's there. Let's see what else I got. That was when Suma was up there playing.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. And you guys saw Brendan was there. You guys want to, while I'm pulling up some photos, you want to go to the chat and see who's in there?
Yeah. We'll do that. Let me get out of here. And yes, welcome everybody. Let's see who we have. Sandra's there. Hey, Sandra. Holly Lewis is here. Holly, I've got a unboxing from you in a little bit. Nice to see you. Let me scroll up. Keith Campbell. Hey, Keith. Ed Durable. There he is. And Lenny, Lou, and Mary, Dan in New Jersey. Nice to see Dan. Janice Lala, she was up there this past weekend. Lenny Lou was too.
They both said the drummer was smiling the whole time.
Yeah, nice to see both of them.
Janice said Pete sounded great.
Tim Thomas. I saw Zach thong in here. Thomas Santiago. And the rest.
You know what I think the biggest thing too is that made it exciting or engaging to watch for me though is Pete. You always look like you're having so much fun.
Yeah, that's what
Oh,
it's all
yeah.
about.
That is like that brings more energy to the whole thing.
And he's got chops too.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, if you ever watch a guy that's got amazing chops, but he's just
He's got chops.
Yeah, but I know what Tom's saying. Like some guys look miserable. They don't look like
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, and you just don't want to watch him. But like, it looks like, oh my god, like I want to, like he looks like he's having so much fun.
Yeah.
Like that's what I want to watch. Like that's what drew me to Eddie. Is he looked like he was like, this is the best. Yeah, like he always gets like that.
It's
You reminded me of that spirit of Eddie watching you play, man. So
it's funny. Like, so you gotta smile when you're playing Van Halen. I don't know. It feels natural.
Yeah.
But the band I'm in now, we're just a straight up '90s tribute. So we're doing all the Stone Temple Pilots, Alice, Chili Peppers, Foo Fighters, Smashing Pumpkins, Soundgarden, like all that stuff, and it's angrier to a certain degree.
Yeah.
And my wife makes me laugh because she's like, "You look like you're going to the bathroom when you're playing that music." Because
no Van Halen in the set,
what?
dude.
You play one at least, right?
So it's funny. The singer of my band is actually the singer of Van Hagar.
But don't tell anybody.
Yeah, don't tell anyone. You never know.
He looks different.
He's good, man.
He's got different haircut. He's got different haircut in Pete's band, right?
Yeah.
He can sing those Sammy era songs. Gosh, he's good.
Not only can he sing them, he sings a full set of them.
Like, good. Yeah.
In standard. It's
which is crazy.
Yeah, it's
they played up there a couple of years ago in your area, I think 2019. Dave went. Yeah, and they killed it.
Yeah, he's so it's funny when he joined, I'm like, ooh, it's time to do some Chris Cornell. I got these pipes in my band. All right. Start learning some Soundgarden. Let's go. It's like that's hard to find. And he, we're doing like Jane's Addiction stuff because he can hit all the Perry Farrell range. So
yeah, that's really high, dude.
It's and he loves that stuff. So it's funny. Like when I'm playing that genre of music, I'm like, I'm still having fun, but I look angry while I'm doing it.
Oh yeah, no, you have fun on and off stage.
You just can't smile and play Alex and James. It doesn't work. It just
so
try it. It's impossible.
Let me ask Pete and John, what if in the next couple of years you get a few hundred people showing up there?
Well, listen, I don't want to speak out of turn or put words in Joe's mouth. I mean, this is Joe Suma's thing, right? So, he started it.
It's a great thing.
Joe and Jimmy, it was their baby.
It's
Joe
their
and
baby, and we started talking a little bit before COVID hit. Again, so talking about venue. So if the venue had to move to accommodate more people, there's an expense with that, right? I mean, we got to be a little realistic. So what I could see this potentially becoming if it outgrew the store is a modest cover, call it, $20 for the day, something, you know what I mean? That would be able to cover expenses, right? I mean,
and then a T-shirt of the event or something like that, which would
something like
that,
So, I mean, if it grew to 200-300 people at 20 a head, and you could get a room, pay for food, drink, whatever it may be.
It could very well easily, I would
I
think.
think it could.
I would
Yeah.
spend $20 to walk into a room like that. I
Oh
don't think
heck
there's
yeah!
any
If that was
person.
near me,
We'd pay more
Hey.
than that. You know,
Yeah, right, yeah, agreed.
if you're a real Eddie Nut, you'd probably pay $50 a head just to come to something like that, spend a whole
yeah.
day with,
Oh yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
You know, and it all depends how you do it. And you know, I mean, listen, Joe could probably talk to, you know, you know, it'd be kind of cool if Joe like kind of got in bed with the owner of the music zoo a little bit, right? And they kind of did it together, you know, because they, you know, they have a big namesake. You know, he's another big head guy. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, the music zoo probably has 6 or 8 of those. What was the guitars that Eddie was playing one song a night on, signing it and giving it away?
Charvel Art Series. Charvel.
Was it the art series?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty sure it was. Yeah.
So
Yeah, was it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. But he
Yeah.
striped them all up, right? And then they painted them, and
right.
Yeah, they were.
He played
Oh,
third I'll wait or
weird.
something like that. And then
And they were all going for like 15 to 17 grand or something, if I remember.
Yeah.
But the music zoo has like half of them, and he's selling them for 60. Let me say that differently. He's got them listed for 60. I don't know if he sold any of them yet, but he has a bunch of them. So he actually has some pretty cool stuff himself. But I don't know. I mean, you know, that's something Joe would have to. Again, it was gaining momentum where those thoughts were starting to happen, and then COVID hit, and it, you know, it just shut everything down.
Hey, look, we know these kind of things are successful. Look at the KISS conventions, how many people they, you know, what they exploded into, right? I mean, they turned out to be huge. So
hey, Marcy.
something like this would be
Think of the cool stuff you could get to if you had people coming from you know, all across the country.
Well,
cool stuff every, like, really like stuff you'd never see like every year, because you know.
well, my next question too: has any of you guys heard of any other groups elsewhere in the country wanting to do something like that?
I know there's other people that say, oh, we'd love to have this in our town. I want to hear, and one in this city, one in this city, but I don't believe anybody's done it. That's it. This is the original. This is the first one. So, you know,
I mean, it would be kind of cool to do one in LA, right? You know, maybe have it move around or something. You know, it's
kind of cool to have it in a destination like, you know, like the New York. We're in the New York area. Greenwich is part of the New York, you know, city area. People, you can commute to work in the city from Greenwich. It's same metropolitan area, they call it. That's part of it. So, you know, like you're saying, like LA, or you could do it in Vegas or New York, something like that. But you know, those would work, because at least people, if they were making a trip, say, hey, we're going to spend a few days in New York afterwards and go to see the Statue of Liberty or some crap like that. You know what I mean? They could do that too. So,
right.
You know, so
yeah. Kurt was the longest traveled so far. Hubbard had that first place mark, but no, Kurt just so you know, you know, it's you know, we've had people come up from Florida, I think, at one point, but mostly Northeast guys.
Yeah. So it was great to see. Janice was there. We saw Janice. We saw Lenny Lou. She was there, and Brendan brought his cigar box guitars, which are cool. I think somebody left with one of them, took one, bought one. I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
It may have been Nesdal. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but,
he did. It was.
I think it was Dave Nesdal. Yeah, he thought it was so cool. We plugged it in. It was pretty cool. He brought his shovel there, so it was really neat. They had a fretless one, which was really cool. So. They were awesome. It was great to meet Brendan. And here's a few more pics from the thing.
Lenny had a beautiful.
Yeah, Ernie, the music man.
A red music man.
Yeah,
beautiful top.
Yeah, the red one she had.
Yeah, the red one. It was beautiful. Yeah. So here's another clip, Tony. I don't know if you got to mute it or whatever like that. This is Joe Girard. He's up there playing with the band.
John Lee was complaining that Nesdal did get that.
No, I think we're okay there. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it cancels out for some reason, the sound.
No, that's Tony doesn't want to get flagged for copy.
Yeah.
Those
That's
algorithms
right.
are like nasty.
That's right.
Yeah, so we got here's some more pics I got here. So there's one of Brendan's beauties right there. And let's see what else.
Holly Lewis asked, who is the guy singing?
And there's oh wait, hold on a second. You gotta see this one. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find. Yeah, look at Pete's shoes. He even has the
Nice.
There they are.
those are those Nike ones that Eddie sued over, right?
Yeah,
Pete?
those are the ones that cost like $5,000 a pair.
Yeah. Only the best for Petey.
Nice.
Holly Lewis was
It was $65 for me.
Yeah, when you bought them, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Here's the group shot here. The every year there's like a
nice.
There's Lenny with her guitar over there. There's Stofko.
Nice.
Oh no, where's Stofko? He's in there too. There's Nesdal. There's Jimmy Carr, Rob Johnson.
Rob Johnson tried to run away with it when he lost it.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
There's Dave Nesdal.
Sweet. That's a good picture.
Yeah.
So Janice said she left before the group picture.
Stofko.
Yeah.
Yeah, Janice left before that. There's Jimmy Vombis. He's the other brainchild behind the EVH Con with Joe Suma. So Jimmy Carr and Anthony Sajisi. He's another huge Van Halen fan.
Oh yeah. John, do you know the name of the singer?
Kurt. Was it Bob? Was it Whitlock?
Bob Whitelock.
Whitelock.
Okay. There's your answer, Holly. Sorry, brain fart.
So he was. I don't know if you guys saw. It was now. This time a year ago this weekend.
Okay.
That on that main EVH group that has like 80,000 members.
Yeah.
We did a live stream where we did a tribute. Like a 24-song set, 4 guitar players, 2 bass players, 2 drummers, and Bob was singing for that, and Mike Oliva from Van Hagar was singing that day too. Nice. I don't know if you guys ever caught that. That was
I did.
We did a pretty kick-ass live stream production, no latency. It came out really, really good.
Yeah, you did that from a studio. What's the studio? Crescent Studios? That's
Pete Pizzo. He was he's got an impressive studio at his house in Farmingdale, Long Island.
Cool.
He was the drummer of Bottoms Up.
You did that about a year ago, right?
Exactly a year ago. Yeah. We did it the week before Thanksgiving. We did that on a Saturday. That was fun. That was crazy. There was a lot of musicians switching out. There was no real drops in time. That was the Pete studio, the way he just mixed everybody and broadcasted it. It sounded really, really, really good.
That was the first time I had heard Bob Whitelock there singing.
He killed it.
He can sing. He can hit the notes.
He can hit the notes, and he's got the swagger. Yeah. It's not about it's about the swagger too, and
it's funny. We weren't going to do the full bug. I wanted to do it, but the drum kit didn't have a double bass pedal with it. So I'm like, you need a double bass, for the full bug. And he was like, no, we got to do it. He goes, I have a harmonica with me, and it's and the song it's in E flat, and I got the right harmonica for it. We're gonna do it. I'm like, okay, man, we'll do it. We'll
No,
get
you pulled it off.
yeah.
It wasn't bad at all.
He had the whistle during Running with the Devil.
He did. You're right. Exactly. Can't hear. You hear all bass.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah.
Nice. There you go.
Did someone get the full video of that, John?
Of what?
Sweet.
Are you playing the full bug?
Yeah.
I just don't want to get flagged.
I got it, but it's it was more on the bass side. You hear it. It's right in front of his cabinet, so you hear a lot of bass. But let me see if you can hear the harmonica. Hold on. I needed something to stand on for this part.
Hang on. Sorry.
Look at you.
Nice.
And here's a harmonica. I don't know if you can hear it.
Yeah, I can hit it right on.
Steve Martin killing it.
Yeah. There's. Yeah, that's cool.
So Tony, you actually get flagged a lot.
I'm sorry, what, Pete?
You get flagged a lot?
No, I don't. Once or twice I have, but you know, you got to watch copyrighted stuff that you know.
They'll bite you.
Yeah, hang on, let me undo John here. There you go. Yeah, so now that's what I meant earlier, Pete, when John's showing you playing, and the sound kept going in and out, and I said I had to hack it up a little bit. You know, you're too good.
Stop.
That's yeah. Hang on, John.
There's
Show the hang. Ooh, they.
This is the dragon guitar or whatever, and there's one of I was playing Brendan's right there, one of his.
Yeah, that's a good picture there.
That was cool.
Show us the snake dragon again,
Yeah.
dude. Let's look at it.
That's Sumo playing. Hold on, let's go this way.
Yeah.
I wish I don't have a picture of the little guitar, the mini Les Paul. I can't believe I didn't have a picture. Probably because I was playing it for most of the time. That I was sitting on the little couch there most of the time with it. But that thing was really, really impressive. It was really nice.
He said he was going to leave it with Craig.
Actually, yeah, Craig has it right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, just tell Craig to take a picture of it, and next week or something like that, I'll put the picture up there. But it was freaking awesome. Janice got flagged. Janice got flagged from the video she posted in 2018 at EVH Con. So
we'll see.
It's amazing how good this stuff is right now. You know, these what do you call it? Algorithms and all this that they can pick that stuff up. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know.
So yeah, it's a good thing if you get caught. That means you matched it well. There's your barometer.
Yeah, right. Exactly right. Yep.
All right. So hey, I tell you what, let's do. Holly Lewis, I'm gonna open up your mail.
All right, Holly, you're up. Drum roll.
All right.
No, I can do that. Hold on a second.
All right, go ahead, Pete.
Alexa, give me a drum roll.
Okay.
Is it too low?
That works.
Hold on. There we go. Drum roll.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
It's the stupid things you can do with Alexa.
Holly says, Tony, just a gift because you are so wonderful and kind. Thank you for all you do. Long live rock and EVH.
All right. So let's see what's in this thing. It feels like there's objects inside of it, so I'm trying to not let anything fall out. Okay, so wow. Nice. Nice. Holly, goodness. All right, I'm going to show you this. Now, sweet. Holly lives in Nashville.
Nice.
Nice.
And let me see
Like,
if I can show this.
Wow. Leonard Skinner, Sammy Kershaw. Sammy Kershaw, and what's the other end? I can't read that one.
It's
Sammy
another
Kershaw.
Sammy Kershaw.
cool.
No,
And,
the last
and
one's a Sammy Kershaw too?
no, the
Albert
last
Lee.
one's Albert
Albert
Lee.
Lee. Wow, man.
Lee. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Abilene, Texas. You saw Albert Lee in the late 80s.
Yeah.
Abilene, Texas.
That's really cool.
Little
What,
chicken picture, Albert Lee.
what does that one say below Skinner? 99% sure that
This pic was from 1975 in Tulsa, Oklahoma when I saw Leonard Skinner. Wow.
what does it say?
I'm positive this is where my pick collection began.
There you go.
Holly.
Wow. -1%
My
for age.
goodness.
Wow,
You're
that's
kidding
so
me.
cool. And then it says, I don't recall the or year,
older than me.
I don't recall the name or year,
but definitely in Nashville.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not a big
Country
fan.
I had 4 of these.
He's a big 90s country guy.
Oh, Albert Lee was from Nashville. Yeah, too. She thought it was Abilene, Texas. She says, no, I found a flyer. Albert Lee was from Nashville.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Those
And what
are
does
very
it say
cool.
up in the corner?
That's a sweet gift.
Yeah, that Leonard Skinner, 1975. Wow, look at that.
Thank you so much, Holly.
Holly,
Thank you
that's
so
awesome.
much. Awesome. Thank you so much. That is so cool and so nice of you. So thank you, Holly. And let's see if there's not a glare on it. I am enjoying my poster. If you want one of these right here, the links are down in the description. Get a hold of Holly. I'm tangled up. And you can get you one too. Links are down below, maybe in the chat too. So yeah, thank you so much, Holly. That is so 1975 Leonard Skinner. Wow.
That's killer.
You shouldn't have done that, Holly. That's insane. That is insane, Holly. That is insane.
Is that the earliest Skinner pick you have, T-Cake?
It certainly is.
Cool.
Well, it's good to know the pick survived the flight.
Yeah. So that's pre all that. So goodness. So Holly, what What venue was that at, if you recall? That'd be great info behind the pick. All right. So Tommy, you sent me the links to the mini Kramer.
Yeah, he only shows it for a little bit, but then he shows the neck, but you don't. There's no still picture of it there. It's in a video.
Okay.
The link I sent you is time stamped. It'll start right when he shows it. You don't have to hunt for it. It's cool though. It's just like a little mini 5150.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Nice.
And he used the same mini. Apparently, he got the same mini humbuckers that were in the mini Les Paul. But I mean, this guy owns an amp company. He's, he's not a slouch. He kind of knows what he's doing with. I didn't know he was able to build guitars too, because he said he built it all himself. And I don't know if he meant he had someone help him build or what, but I mean, he builds his own amps when he wants a new amp. He's like, let's wire up a 68 plexi circuit today, and like, just check out his videos. That was cool. But he owns 3 Monkey amps. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. Brad Whitford was using them for a while. They're a smaller company. But he's a really kind of unique, eclectic guy. Just loves Van Halen. Always sets up like he does like shootouts. He'll do like the Mighty Mite 1300. Do all these paces, and like he does like the complete Van Halen 1 setup at 120 volts and then at 90 volts, and then he A/Bs them, but it's a blind test. And then you read the comment afterwards which one was which. I thought it was pretty obvious to tell which was which, but it was cool to hear still.
Should be pretty obvious, right?
Yeah. I thought it was. If I would have got it wrong, I would have felt bad.
Yeah.
But no, I thought it was noticeable. But he gets really deep into it. Like he has he did one whole video on the Univox EC80 and how he does the adjusting it for the end of eruption. Like he's deep, man. Wow. You guys would meet him if you.
Yeah, definitely got to check that out.
Let me show you guys this. I hope the size is adequate. Oh, it's perfect. So this, I asked Holly what was the date and venue, and she sent me this about that guitar pick.
Wow.
Wow.
$6. $6 whole.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's really cool, man.
Nice. God damn. Thank you, Holly.
So just curious, what do you guys think if and when it happens an Ed tribute looks like? Like is this a one night show at the Hollywood Bowl, and who do you guys think's in it? Who do you think's the valid enough guitar players to actually do it?
I said this a couple weeks ago. If they do something like that, I don't want the members of Van Halen playing with the different guitar player. I don't ever want to see them on the stage with another guitar player again, just me. But I wouldn't mind like if a bands came up, if Extreme came up and they did a Van Halen song, if Alice in Chains got up, did a Van Halen cover own version of it. I just don't want to see.
I think you do it like the Kennedy Center Honors, where they're up like in suits and these big, like, throne chairs, and they just get to watch their subjects, their loyal subjects, perform their majestic music.
I'd be down with that. Them sitting in the front row or something. Them and their family.
I'm the shit. That's right. I'm the shit.
I like that idea. To have them sitting in the front row with their families, the family.
And I want like something to signify Eddie. Like there's like a dark seat or an empty seat or something, or maybe just have like like one of the replica Frankies like with a spotlight on it.
Yeah,
there's something like for him. Yeah. But and they're just kind of holding court and they watch everyone play. That's what I would like.
That would be killer.
You know,
I think that's how they should do it, something like that.
So I beg to ask Pete, since you brought it up, do you have a theory?
Um, it's somewhere along those lines. So when I think about it, I almost think about when they did the tribute to Freddie Mercury, right?
yep.
So that was that in a sense. You really had a bunch of bands, and it's funny that John brought up Extreme at that Freddie Mercury tribute show. Extreme did a Queen medley that was just
Insane.
off the charts, insane.
What?
So
Ed, I do want one like the Freddie Mercury tribute. Pretty much, I just don't want the members of Van Halen playing with anybody else. I'm against. I know.
well, I wouldn't mind it sprinkled,
No,
right?
I
Not a whole band, not the band with a different guitar player, but kind of. So in that show, Brian May did come out and play with Def Leppard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some stuff, but then there was the part of that set where it was Queen and they rolled in singers.
Yeah.
So it started with bands, then it was, John Deacon, Brian May, you sprinkled with those bands, and then, then they had Queen, where George Michael, Joe Elliott came out to sing. It was like 5 singers, if I can remember, that actually played with Queen. So I wouldn't mind seeing a couple of songs, 2 or 3 songs. I would hate to think that it's kind of annoying that, and I would hate to think this way, that Alex is still alive and you might not see him behind a drum set again.
I'll meet you halfway on that. I just don't want the members of Van Halen, all 3 of them, with a different guitar player like that. I don't care if Alex gets up or Michael Anthony gets up and plays with a band, comes in,
right, like sprinkle it out.
Yeah, like that. But I don't want them, all 3 of them, whatever configuration, with a different guitar. I don't want any other guitar player up there. I just don't want to. I don't want to see it again. It's over. It's done. I don't want. It's just, to me, that's sacrilegious. I don't know. But I like your idea there with, like, if Alex comes out, and I want to see different kind of flavors of bands. I know a lot of you guys might want just like metal bands. I think because Van Halen was a mainstream, they were like, A-list type of band. I want to see big band. I want to see that. What's that country guy that plays the telecast? Brad Paisley. I want to see his band get out there and do "Hot for Teacher" or something crazy like that. I want to see I want to see different, like,
John Mayer's been known to play Van Halen.
Yeah, I want to see John Mayer get up there. Let him do Panama or whatever. I want to see stuff like that.
Panama Live. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to, no offense to everybody here. I know this is like a metal and guitar, fans and stuff like that. But, whatever incarnation of Rat is out there right now, which doesn't even have Warren DeMartini in it, I don't want to see that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I want to see, big name national acts like that people know, like current ones, or just like legendary acts. You know what I mean? Because everybody knows Van Halen. Freaking Bruce Springsteen was doing Jump. Did you see that? You remember when he did Jump in his concert?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see big. I want to see Eddie get the credit that he deserves from the mainstream, that it's going to get media attention that it should get, because like everybody else says, since Hendrix, he was the guy that changed the instrument. Well, then let's treat it that way. You know what I mean? I want it big time. I want it all A-list people and stuff like that.
That's true. Like Keith Campbell in chat said, Pete, what are your viewpoints on either of the 2 remaining members performing with Dave in January? I mean, kind of to John's point, I wouldn't want to see that. That's if they did that, then there's another guitarist playing in Van Halen. It's that simple.
Yeah, you know what? If Michael Anthony wants to come out and do a song with him, and Alex comes out once the next night and comes out and do another song,
that's a little bit.
That's fine.
That would be cool. Yeah. Would I want him sitting in for the show now? Like you said, it's almost like holy ground at this point,
The only way I want to see any kind of Van Halen again like that is, let's say they found a piece of music that Alex said that was a great song, we should have released that. We're going to finish this up, and I think Ed wouldn't mind if we released this song there. And let's say they went back in the studio and they had Mike came back in and sang some background vocals on it, or played a bass part or something like that on the track, and and they finished a song like that, I wouldn't mind that because it's the original band pretty much. If something was that good in there, which there may be, you know what I mean, that could have been released.
Don't throw rocks, kids.
How the Beatles did that with the John Lennon tape that that Yoko gave them, and they built that song "Free as a Bird" around it or something like that. If there was a good enough song that Eddie had the music, and we know that some songs are kind of done in there with the drums and instrumental versions. There's a few different songs. So if something was deemed good enough that they could release on all those tapes, and I'm sure there is something in there, I wouldn't mind them going in and like finishing it and just releasing it or something like that.
Yeah, you know what? You see the big wall with all the tape and 5150. If it was good enough.
No, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what Wolf said anyway.
It would have been put out.
If it was good enough, my dad would have already given it to you.
Right.
It's so Nickelback, when Dimebag Darrell got shot from Pantera, right? Nickelback reached out to Dimebag's wife, Rita, and said, do you have any solos from Dimebag, something he recorded, that never made it to an album? And he had a solo, and Nickelback wrote a song called Side of a Bullet. It was basically a song about Dimebag and how he was taken too soon. And they just piped in a solo that he recorded, never made it on a Pantera album, nothing. They wrote the whole song. It was called Side of a Bullet. If you ever went to YouTube or whatever, it's a kick-ass song. I don't know if you ever heard it. It was killer. And the solo just worked, the riff worked. And so, like, that would be cool, John, where, like, another band, takes an Ed solo and kind of writes a Van Halen-esque tune.
Yeah, something like that. I wouldn't mind something like that.
Like, I'm telling you, there's probably miles of tape like that. Like, that's what I think.
But I do believe there's some completed stuff, though. Like Keith says, the 2000 recordings are complete. And Lenny points out, too, what do you think of the picture of Al and Don Landy that came out like 3 weeks ago, that they were together at a studio checking out that new Dolby Atmos, I guess, that stuff like that. I mean, Alex and Don Landy were together. So I'm wondering if Alex said, hey, Don, now that you're retired, you're like 75 years old, maybe he's retired, because would you have any interest in going up to the studio there? We trust you with all these tapes and to go through them, you know what I mean? And just start, baking them and start throwing stuff on there and seeing what we got there. You know what I mean? He would be the right person to approach about it, I would think,
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Keith says, I think Al and Don were getting eyes and boots out there for prep. Maybe they're looking at the equipment out there, like the newest technology. You never know. You can only hope, you know what I mean? We can dream. There's got to be something in there that could be released. There has to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just, what is it?
I know.
I mean, think about it. They kind of went through that exercise, leading up to recording A Different Kind of Truth, right?
Yeah.
So they dug in the archives. They pulled off the demos.
Right.
They switched stuff around, finished stuff that wasn't done. So it's almost like you feel like they may have picked the best from what they thought the best from the little one. I don't know. You would feel like
possible, but I think they let Dave pick the stuff too that he was comfortable singing. So there may have been, there was those 5 original songs, "The Trouble with Never" and things like that. There may have been stuff in another one or two in there that he just didn't have any interest in working on, and that maybe just that level of quality of a good song.
Well, true, but all bands who have good songs, they always have songs in the can. They always have stuff to go back. They talk a good game. I'm going to write this new album or whatever, but they're always going back and getting, it's always stuff in the can, and they wrote great songs.
And you're right, Tony, but the difference is being that Eddie had the studio in his backyard and him and Alex were always there. And the way they worked was that those two jammed stuff out, and then they arranged it, and then they would give the singer basically a completed either demo with drums, guitar, and bass. To here it's arranged, everything. You just got to write a verse, a melody, and a chorus melody. It's like Humans Being or something like that. When they gave them the tapes, it was like a complete song. That's how they worked. So it was. I don't think it was just little riffs and ideas at that point. He had the studio in the backyard. Alex would come over. They would work, and they would just sit and put together the whole thing and arrange it, a piece of music, and then say, "Here, go ahead." You know, I think that.
Yeah.
I would love to know chronologically when ideas really happen to then surfacing somewhere. Let me give you an example. There was a video floating around of Eddie jamming the Amsterdam lick in like
Yeah.
87. What was it? It was like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was early.
87.
They're always pinching from the past. They got a lot of
Yeah,
these.
right. So like how was the process really? Like, so that riff is 8-9 years removed from
Right.
coming
9
out of
years.
something.
Exactly.
Like, so why didn't they finish that? How did that not make it on OU812? Like, what? At what point they're like, you know what? That was a cool lick. What? Let me finish that.
Wow, you're right. Eddie said he had Right Now before Jump. He said he had Right Now before Jump.
Right, so
Maybe it
when did he write
sounded
it?
too much like Black and Blue.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Hold on. Yeah, so they did that CNN interview, and he showed that he was talking about the paper walls, and he said basically, he's like, yeah, somebody's got to go through it, and he goes, it would have to be me. You know what I mean? That's basically what he said. That was 2013. But he pointed at, he goes, you know, the tape up there. He goes, right now, and he goes, I had that before Jump, because it was on a tape up here on the wall. So
It makes you think. Like, so was 5150 a 1981 idea?
yeah, you never know.
That just got shelved.
Ed
You know what I
said,
mean? And
Ed said that they had, in his exact words, were they had Get Up and Summer Nights worked up, and they were due to work with the other guy who didn't show up, was what Ed said. And when Sammy and Ed got together, those were the first two that they worked on. Get Up clicked, and it was magic right there, and that's
Get up and
how it
make
happened.
it work.
Yeah.
You know,
I'd want to see an encyclopedia of that. Like, that's what that wall is to me. I would want to know, you know, a 400-page book of, I started working on this in 81. I started futzing around it again in 85. And then somehow it landed on OU812.
I mean,
Yeah. I mean, a lot of their stuff's like that. House of Pain's ancient. A lot of stuff shows up later. Not a lot, but a few, yeah.
There has to be something good on that wall. So I think there's probably a lot of good stuff on that wall. I don't know what form it's in. A lot of it, I guess a lot of stuff was demo form, and they never, like, you know, did proper versions of the stuff like that. But I mean, listen, some of their demo stuff, that song that guy that claims to be a singer in Van Halen, Malloy, they, you know, Eddie gave him a DAT tape apparently of that. You know, the Gary Sharon version was called "That's Why I Love You," and I guess this guy took the DAT tape that Eddie gave him, went into a studio, and then he sang over it and made it sound like, you know, he was in the band and doing a song with them. But it was just a DAT tape that Eddie and Alex of a song they're working up. But to me, if you listen to the quality on that demo, the drum sound is better on the demo than it is on the Van Halen 3 album. It's the snare and the kick sound phenomenal on that Mitch Malloy song. It just sounds killer. So I'm sure their demos are, you know, serious quality. They had an engineer in there, I guess, running the board when they were doing their demos on these things too.
Agreed. Well, eventually someone's gonna have to figure that out, right? I would think.
Yeah. And it's, from what I understand, it's Alex. It's not even Wolfgang. It's like all the music stuff belongs basically to Alex. You know, so I'm hoping that photo of Don was kind of telling us something. You know what I mean?
Can you imagine just even outtakes of them, like, well, what if I try this riff here and just stuff? Oh man, because it might fill in a lot of information. Like, do you remember that riff I had a year ago, and then he starts just playing something that doesn't come out for another 8 years or something? You're like, oh, okay, well, it makes sense. He held on to that for this song or something else. You know, it might fill in a lot of gaps. You know.
Yeah, I know there's a couple. Sammy said there's like at least 2 or 3 leftover songs from his era that he knows of that were I think Out of the Ether, that one song. I don't know if they ever finished it. And then there was The Wish or something like that it was called. And obviously we know that, you know, Sammy claims Dave even stole his melody for Can't Get This Stuff No More. So there's a version of Can't Get This Stuff No More from, I guess, the Balance Sessions.
Wow.
With Sammy singing whatever the song was called. Somebody might know.
Hear that.
Somebody might know in the chat, but Sammy claims that Dave stole his melody too on that, and they use that on Can't Get This Stuff No More. So there's alternate versions.
I mean,
yeah.
You leave the band, that's what happens.
Hey, you do a striped shark, someone's
that's
gonna
what
kill.
they're working on, dude.
Oh.
You know, I mean, that's what's there.
Yeah. So I mean, they're like Keith just said, Out of the Ether. Where's that? I don't think they finished that one. I remember there was a couple on. There was a song called "You Never Know." There was one called "The Wish." There was Out of the Ether. That's, I think, all from this Sammy era. But I know they didn't. You know, in the early days, they didn't. They only cut what they needed, and because they had to go get back out on tour. But I mean, since the studio was built, there has to be some completed instrumental or something. You know, songs.
There is I think there's a lot of completed stuff. There's a lot of ideas. There's probably that category. There's whole isolated this, isolated that.
There's got to be the second album with Gary Sharon. They claim it's demos, but I guarantee the demos are good sounding quality. They worked with Danny Korchmar, who's the producer, who's a guitar player and pretty renowned guy. They worked with Patrick Leonard, who was the guy that worked with Madonna, wrote all her hits with her, and he did Pink Floyd. He worked with. The guy's a classical musician. He's an incredible musician, and I know they were working with Sharon with him. We know that Desmond Child was in there trying to write songs for when Dave was there. So there's got to be some crap left around from that. I don't know if it's just completed music. There has to be some music in there. Obviously, like you said, if it was any good, it would have been put out. Well, would it have? Who knows? Because, I mean, you know, maybe Ed didn't want to put out anything unless it was a completed album or something like that. I don't think he was.
It's fair. It's fair.
You know, I guarantee you there's stuff that maybe they don't think it's great, but we would all love it, you know?
We would, of course, but that's not the question, though. The question is it going to happen? I think the first thing we'll see, and we spoke about this, sooner or later, young Wolfgang and his buddy
have to play Panama.
No, young Wolfgang is going to cross paths sooner or later in some city with the Circle, and they're going to want to hop on stage and do a song. You know,
they probably won't do a band. They'll probably do a Led Zeppelin song or something. Right.
Yeah, it makes you think. You know, Wolf is he wants to do his own thing. Obviously, he's very adamant about that, which makes sense. I mean, I don't think he has to do anything. Just the annuity alone on the estate, he's rich for life.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, it's you know, I get it. Frank Zappa was a legend, but you know, we're not talking Van Halen money, right? So I can understand why Dweezil's going out doing Zappa to Zappa. You know, I mean, he kind of has to, right? I mean, Wolf A doesn't have to do that. B, he could just keep it right there. And there's, out of the few interviews that he's done, he knows the value of it, and he's never going to sell that out. You know, we're going to see the 5150 and the Frankie go to the Smithsonian. You're going to see it go to the, you know, or the guitars really get split up or go to the, you know, Museum of Natural, whatever, wherever they may go. But, you know, these are never going to end up in people's hands. I don't think he's ever going to. I just don't see him cashing in.
Would you sell your own father out? That's like that's the only question you got to ask.
Like Alex, maybe. I mean, does Alex run out of money and have to release something? Like, I don't know. I just don't know.
the popular thing for bands to do now is to sell their catalogs out, sell it, just get like a paycheck and get like, control of all their music. They sell it all out. They say, hey, listen, I'm going to cash out now. And that may be, a reality for them too. They may say, hey, they may all get together and say, listen, we were just offered, $250 million for our catalog. You know what I mean? We can cash out right now, walk away, and with each of us have our share, whatever we deserve for the for writing these songs, or whatever like that. That's like real popular. There's so many bands. I read it. It's in Billboard every week about these bands going out and selling.
Yeah, recently Stevie Nicks sold her catalog. Dylan sold her catalog. The minute 4 months after Rush ended their last tour, they sold their catalog and got rid of their whole crew and management and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Sold it all.
So I could definitely see Alex saying, you know what, I'm pushing 70. I'm not going to be touring with bands anymore. I'm not going to. This is, I've got my, my life, what I'm doing now in my life, and I could see in them getting together, having a business meeting, and saying, listen, they're going to give us, $250-300 million to just sell out the catalog. You know what I mean? And obviously that probably wouldn't include any of the stuff that's in the wall of the studio. That's
just
that's separate.
The back
Van Halen music.
Right. And we mentioned a few months ago on this show, we talked about. I remember reading a few months ago saying that when Alex was in control of any of the musical stuff like that. Well, not even Wolf, as far as that. They said Alex was in. That was he was in control of what happens with all that kind of stuff. So see what happens with that.
So if he ever needed the money, Pete, he could sell it.
Yeah.
He could sell their whole catalog.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's already written, so like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So do you take the chance with with royalties and how and the way the bands are getting screwed now on Sirius Radio or whatever on these things where they get paid pennies for every time the song's played, or do you just say, hey, I'm going to take the $300 million and I'm going to turn okay, Eddie's part of that $300 million is going to be $100 million. So Wolf, you're going to get $100 million out of this thing, and then you can just invest it and turn that $100 million into $500 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
While you're alive, and all of our children, we can set them up forever instead of the unknown when we're dead. 20 years from now, Alex is gone or whatever, and his family, with the royalty situation and what's going on, they could get the money right now and just invest it and make that money grow for their forever without having to worry about it.
Bird in the hand, man.
It's not. Wolf's a young dude. His career is just elevating. And
exactly to what John said, you don't know what digital media, and people think, oh, we've had digital media for a long time now. No, we're still.
Wolf's not letting anybody in that building, dude.
No, not the building with any of the unreleased stuff. Their catalog, which but the publishing companies control anyway. They don't really, have a say.
There's been many commodities in the past that people were shocked when they went to zero, but it's happened. You know what I mean? It's
right. And you know what? And if they
anything,
like Stevie Nicks, like you said, I forget how much she got, but she got
$80 million. She got
$80 million for her solo, just her.
Yeah, exactly. Not Fleetwood Mac, just her solo catalog.
Her solo stuff. She got $80 million.
She sold it during COVID, the day after Dylan sold his. And between the two of them, Dylan's wasn't that much more than hers, which I was surprised. Right. She has a very small. I love her, don't get me wrong, but she has a small catalog in comparison.
Right. Maybe the
Dylan's got almost like 30 records.
Maybe the price was based on current play rates and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I forget what Dylan's price was.
But you know what? It had to be.
It wasn't that much more than $80 million.
Had to be lucrative enough that they.
Oh yeah. Well, he's not getting any younger.
So, I don't see.
And Rush did an interesting move when they did their last show in August of 15. By October 1st, they had sold their entire catalog.
Yeah.
So for all those people who were hoping they were coming back and they were going to reunite, it's like, dude, they sold their catalog. Yep. They're done.
I could definitely see it happen. I see it happening with different bands all the time in Billboard. They're saying this one that like you said,
it's very common now.
There's a lot more that are doing it too, and they want that money up front now, and then they control what they can do with it, in the future. And now that the band isn't like touring, it's not like the Stones are.
It's a lot of albums to sell. I don't see a reason to.
Money talks, man, and I think it's lucrative enough. I think that it could happen. I definitely think it could happen with them.
Yeah.
Lenny said, imagine
Lenny
if
said 300 and 400 million. I remember it was definitely
Like a
more
month.
than 100 million, but I don't remember it being that high. Wow, that is a lot. That is significant. Holy shit.
That's big money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, you see it in Billboard all the time. People, it's just happening more and more and more. People are doing it all the time.
While they're alive, which is smart.
Yeah, exactly. But
I
when they're
don't
gone,
think it'll happen. I don't think it'll happen because of Wolfgang. You know.
Yeah, it might not in Van Halen's case, but it has been common lately for these legacy artists that are getting up there in years to sell now while they're still alive.
Right. I understand.
But that's
Right.
to what Tony's saying. That is their own music, and I think in a way that's easier to let go than this is my father's music. I don't
Right.
tell
He's
my
still
father.
out there, and I don't think that much is going to happen except everything that he's doing in his band. And I think that that's going to be it for a
yeah,
while.
I think that's his focus is his band and stuff like that.
You
And
know.
I think if Alex came to him and said, "Listen, Wolfgang, we've been approached about this, and the other guys are on board with it. Sammy's on board, Dave's on board, I'm on board. We're gonna. It's too big of a number for us to turn down." I think Wolfgang would defer to Alex and say, "Yeah, man, I'm doing my own music.
Never say never.
I'm doing my own music. I got my own thing going on, which I'm going to continue to do. But that's primarily that was you guys. I was involved in it, but that was the recordings and stuff like that were before I was even around. Most of them, and that's that's your prerogative to do that. And obviously he'd get Eddie's share of it, which would be probably the biggest share of all of it. You know what I mean? And then he could invest it and do whatever he would want with it.
Well,
I absolutely wish the best for the kid, but I'd be curious. Do you guys think he breaks through? In other words, yeah, he's a name. I know, he's done club dates, right? Uh, Maybe 1,500, 2,000 max clubs, right? He was selling those out. Do you guys see him getting to like Foo Fighter status? Do you?
yeah.
Well, that's the key right there. The Foo Fighters. If he follows the Foo Fighters kind of mold and the way they did things, and keeps his music as eclectic from album to album, and doesn't get just stuck in a rut or anything like that as the future goes on, and I think he could do that. I mean, listen, that Guns N' Roses tour was huge for him. The exposure he got off that tour was huge. But when he writes this next album, I almost think this next album is going to be, the sophomore album. It's going to be very important, I think, to his career. You know what I mean? He's got.
But it can go both
But the
ways.
Foo Fighters are beyond Van Halen level. They play stadiums. They don't play arenas. They play stadiums. There's a big difference there.
And that's only
Foo Fighters are massive.
That's only because Van Halen.
That's just because of modern.
And they get along with each other. Van Halen could have played stadiums. They could have. After 1984, if
during their prime, they could have.
Their prime, they could have, exactly. There's going to be a few years where the Foo Fighters aren't going to be able to play stadiums either. You know what I mean? It's like they're still riding the.
They've been doing that for a while, though. They've been a stadium act for a while.
I always use the Police story. It's like a parabola. It goes up and it's going to come down. And Sting realized that Shea Stadium, 70,000 people, the #1 album in the world. He said, "This is it. It's not going to get any higher than this. We've reached the top. It can only go down from here," which is the case with every band. It's not like a knock on the band. It's just that that's what happens. You know what I mean? Every band has their moment, really, and then it comes down. So he said, "Well, I want to quit while we're on top." He goes, and that's basically what he did. He told those guys, "I'm done. I don't want to let. This is it. It doesn't get any better than this." So. It happens with every band, and the Foo Fighters are still riding it because literally rock music is so a lot of people say rock music is dead. You know what I mean? At this point, it's not. We know it's not. But they're the ones that carry the torch. They're the ones at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that are there every year. They're like the flag bearers for hard rock and rock music.
Well, to answer Pete's question, I say yes. I say so far this record debuted #1, hit the road with Guns N' Roses, club dates mixed in, got a new tour coming up, going to Europe in the summer opening Scorpions shows.
I mean, listen, he's about to pay some dues.
He's busy.
You know,
He's got a lot going on.
Yeah,
That
and he wants
starts
to pay the dues.
in January.
John, where is the New York show? What is that?
It's at Webster Hall.
It is Webster Hall.
February 1st. It's in Manhattan.
Yeah, no, again, decent sized club.
Yeah.
I never heard of Dirty Honey. I mean,
yeah, well, you should check them out because you definitely would like them. They're good. They're real good.
Okay.
Yeah, you would like them for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I listen. I think that Wolfgang's next album is going to be the key because, he did 6 months after his father passed away, he put this album out. So it had a lot of attention because of that connection and because of the song. What do you call it?
The Distance.
Distance. Yeah, exactly. So now the next album, it'll be removed a year or two from Eddie's passing and stuff like that. So the next one, it's going to be more, okay, guy, what do you got here? Because, we saw Young Guns N' Roses. We liked what we saw. So, and I'm not saying I'm sure he can do it, but I think I think it's an important album for him. And I think he knows the next one is going to be a real important album for him.
Now, do you think he tries to hold these guys that are in his band now, really call it his band? And do you think he will opt to record with the band versus doing it all himself on the sophomore album? He was open to it. I feel like I saw an interview.
Yeah.
I think I saw an interview where he was open to that, at least not doing all the instruments again, like actually having the guys on the road that he.
I think Dave Grohl did, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, the first album, Dave Grohl did everything, but then, as the Foo Fighters were the Foo Fighters, then, everyone started playing their parts. So I'm curious to see if, he wants this to be a band, not just always going out with hired guns, right? I mean,
well, these guys in his band are in other bands. So yeah, I would hope that he would keep the same lineup.
Well, Tremonti's drummer, right? That was Tremonti's drummer.
Garrett Whitlock.
Yeah.
Tremonti was out with another drummer, so I don't know if this guy chose Wolf.
Oh, really?
Because Tremonti's touring right now. He just played Providence Saturday night.
Huh.
Tremonti's out right now on a tour with Seven Dust.
I think the key for Wolf's continued success is that if he stays as eclectic, like the Foo Fighters, they do all different kinds of hard rock, they do poppy rock, stuff like that, and we know Wolf can do that. He showed that on this album that he can go from one end of the spectrum to the other. He's got the talent to do that. I think he's just got to continue that and build upon that because that's the way you crossed over to all different types of people. You know what I mean? By different types of, like Big Me that was on the first Foo Fighters album, right?
The second one.
The second one that was like a pop, masterpiece. That song, you know what I mean? And then then they go the other end of the spectrum too with some of their stuff. So he could definitely do that, and I think that's the key for him.
I feel like a lot of the Foo's success was just Dave Grohl
coming from Nirvana,
but just having his hand in a lot of cool things.
Yeah, they're doing a movie now. You heard that?
Yeah. I mean, he's known as the biggest fanboy that's famous, right? Like he gets excited around, artists and everything like that. He's the guy that, is not afraid to bring some little guy on stage that's in the crowd. Like,
Paul McCartney's at his house playing the piano with his daughter. He's like, he can't believe he's like sitting at the piano with his daughter. He's like showing how to play something on the piano. It's like, how cool is that?
I can see Tommy at a Foo Fighters show holding up a sign that says, "Let me play Monkey Wrench."
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Is that the go-to song that you go to Foo Fighters song, Tommy?
No, I'm just messing with him.
I don't know any Foo Fighters.
Dave does invite up a lot of people at their shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's his interaction with the fans. And that's where I wish, Wolf would. I wish he would engage in all the people that are really giving him props and stay away from the.
Yeah, I do too.
It's almost getting a little old.
Right.
You validate them, good, bad, or indifferent. When you ignore 8,000, we love what you're doing, but the guy, to Tom's point, if you're gonna play Panama, that's who you respond to. It's like, come on, man, like don't give them their day in the sun, and he does it so much where I think people are funny enough where they want to see, yeah, exactly. They want to see if they could get him to engage. I think people are saying heinous stuff just to see if he'll talk back.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think there's a lot of that going on. Again, getting back to Grohl, that recent thing with that cute little girl in the UK, like having drum battles on Twitter. Invites her out and puts her on a damn drum riser, and like it's that kind of stuff. You just gotta love a guy like that.
Yeah, definitely. You know what? And he always says, "I'm not a music snob. I'm not a snob. He's not a snob. He'll listen to pop music. Listen, he did that song with Rick Springfield, and they were jamming. Did you hear that thing? It was killer. It was great. It was like
they brought Rick Astley out on stage.
Exactly.
There was a Netflix thing he did from where he went to different bands about their original touring bands. It was awesome. I forget the name of it.
Last year on Dave's birthday, I think they had a show, and I don't know where it was, but they invited a bunch of people. They invited Paul Stanley from Kiss,
David Lee
Roth, whoever else, a bunch of people.
Yeah. I don't know. He's either got the most brilliant publicist on the planet, or he's really that genuine. It's probably a little of both. A lot of both. But I don't know. I'll see. I mean, I would love the kid to break through. It's just so funny. It's the generation. I'm not knocking him for this, but 30 years old, first album, right? And, the old days, take Van Halen out of it, the Zeppelins, the Who's, you could go for miles. They had 4 albums, that they were paying dues at an early age. So he's getting started kind of, I'm not saying 30s old, but he's getting started late, right?
Yeah. The problem also is that the way things are set up now are so different because of the internet and because of it used to be 8 major record labels and they had a stable of artists and that's all you got. You know what I mean? You got, that's why you got to watch them grow from album to album and you waited for the next Who album or whatever like that because that's they control, right? But now that whole model's blown up and anybody can throw an album out on there and it's just so diluted. It's just like it'll never be the same. That's why you don't see platinum albums anymore. People sell 20 or 40,000, or 30,000 albums. It's huge, like actual physical CDs or something like that. That's huge. Where it used to be 1 million or 500,000, a million would be platinum, whatever. And now it's
away.
Streaming and everything. Yeah, streaming and everything like that. It's just a completely different, animal now than it used to be. Which in one way it's great, but the other way it kind of sucks because you get to see a band progress from album to album to album and their whole career followed them the whole way. Now it's like, a band has one album, one song, and then you're like, whatever happened to that band? You never heard from them again. It's like it's over. You know what I mean?
I do think Wolf, though, under the circumstances around him, and he spent a few seasons in Van Halen. I think the circumstances around him, around his music, around the state of music now, I just think that everything is in his favor,
That
second album's going to be big. It's going to be important, though. Very important.
I absolutely agree with that. The second album is key because, again, Tony, even this next tour, right? He's not. These are larger clubs, right? Let's see if we could get him into arenas, and then let's see
Yeah.
where he goes from there.
Yeah.
You know,
We'll see what
The curiosity factor will be gone when the second album comes out, because then he's like, okay, he's been out. We know that first album, we've heard that, and he's got to try to expand now from that. It's gonna be
right. Yeah.
I mean, he's up for it. He's up for the challenge. I think he can do it. Obviously,
I think so too. I think
listen,
he
he's
will
he's
too.
he's very, very, very talented.
Yeah.
I would like to definitely see him start honing in on his health a little bit. That's he's got to hone in on that. He's a big fella.
He's young.
He's
young.
Well, he mixed it up a little from opener to those headline shows he did. He changed it up, and he added and shortened accordingly. So um, he's got a lot of new music too.
I love nothing more to see a Van Halen name keep going till I drop. I mean, I want him to go. I do. It's and he's got a legion of people that'll follow him because of it. I mean, they really. He's got a good foundation, but I'm hoping, you could pick up some non-dad fanfare. I mean, let's call it what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right. Right.
Um,
Yeah. Well said, I guess. It's tough to say that, but there's no other way.
He said it the best. He goes, but how did he say it? My name helped, but this got me here. My name got me here, but I gotta keep going. He said something to that effect. Like he's not delusional. He gets it. I mean,
Yeah.
he's and it's funny because I feel like, just by jumping on with GNR, right? He's kind of hitting that generation up at, GNR in a VH from a generation standpoint, right? Mid 80s, whatever it was. Now as you go at the Scorpions, so that it looks like that's where he's kind of at least pulling from or trying to. I don't know. Listen, the stuff is great. I wish him nothing but the best. But I agree with you, John. Come out with another album that that just tears your head off, and
He's got to bring it.
Yeah, he's got to bring it.
He's got to bring it. Yeah.
I think he will.
I think he will too, without a doubt. And he can only get better. He's very talented, and he definitely surrounded himself with some good guys that are doing what he's trying to do. I mean, they fit that mold. And
Yeah.
It's funny because he's pulling from the '90s. That's kind of, you can see that's where he's influenced by, right? He's a Seven Dust head, the Tool head.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
And it sounds great. I mean, I love that music. I mean, I'm out there playing it, so I get it.
Yeah.
But that would be a good bill. I mean, he should be out with the Foo Fighters. He should be out with.
That would be huge.
He should be out with the SDPs. I actually think he played
Alter Bridge.
Alter Bridge, right?
Because he used to tour in Tremonti's band. A lot of people don't know that. Wolfie did tours.
That first Tremonti solo record, right? The Tremonti.
Yeah.
Record. He recorded on the album too, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. He
did the bass.
bass on the album too.
If he ever was out with the Foo Fighters, that would be big. That would be big. It would be
That's where
they're legitimately like the biggest rock band in the world. I mean, right now, if he could get an opening slot with them, that would be.
But his music fits that real well.
Perfectly. It would fit there. That crowd would be into it. They'd be positive. They'd be supportive. I think of him. They'd be like,
Also, I mentioned this past week, since Frank is also in Slash's band, that would be a good bill. Slash and Miles
Yeah.
As a conspirators, that would be great, Billy.
Yeah. I think you should definitely squeeze this album for everything it's worth in the club circuit now, or the small theater type of circuit. Before he goes in for the next one. So Tony, you got another unboxing?
Yeah, I
Wanna
do.
it?
Yeah.
Tony, what's behind you? Is that a rack of necks or a bunch of drumsticks? I can't tell.
Drumsticks.
Drumsticks. Let me go to there.
It was confusing me because I didn't know if I saw like the heads and necks.
Yeah, no.
That's cool, man. That's a cool. I like your background.
I don't need a knife or anything, I don't think.
Christopher Live Sawa says, I bet it's socks.
Socks?
Socks. I'll bet it's
Not
socks.
a tie?
Not a tie.
Okay. Ooh. It slides out easily.
That's what she said.
That didn't sound good.
Holly says, hey, what do you guys think about the Astro World disaster? Ed says, general admission shows are never a good idea. Keith says, it's a topic of contention after Astro World deaths, no more festivals. But, I mean, listen, remember when the Who in Cincinnati, how many people died in that? And,
9, I think.
And general admission didn't go away after that. And that was that 1979?
79, yeah.
I went to GA shows up until, oh goodness, 83 or 4.
Yeah.
I know a few in 82.
They're still around.
They still have them.
Our upcoming Mammoth show is mostly GA, and ours are GA.
Mammoth at Webster Hall in New York is GA too, also.
All right, this is cool as hell. If I can get it out of here, and oh, okay, all right, it's coming. Sweet. Let me get rid of this before I mash the wrong button. Okay.
Christopher Live Sour, you're a brave guy. I'll be 56 Saturday, and all I buy is general admission if possible.
So how? All right. All right. I'm gonna get this thing out of here. Yep, and I'm gonna keep that to put it back. Wow. Okay, my lord. And it's in good shape too. So this is a tour itinerary book.
Look at Dane Hulan.
From 1980. And
how many of those you got, Tony, now? How many of those you got, including this one now?
This is the oldest one I have.
That's cool.
But I think that this is for a couple of months. Let me find the... Okay. This is just a couple of months. This is like June and July. Let's see what that says.
How to read travel.
Those are
travel and show. Travel and show. Show day.
There's one more
Gobble,
calendar.
you gobble, wobble.
August. That's August 1980. Travel and show. Travel.
My eyes aren't that good.
And then, of course, it's got all of the.
Should
Here
be in
you
the
go.
platform.
Here you go, John. Turned right to it. Here you go.
Copley Plaza Hotel, St. James Avenue, Boston, Massachusetts. Distance to venue 1 mile. Room service 7 a.m. to 12 a.m. Restaurants, formal dining room, jacket and tie, 24-hour restaurant. Venue Boston Gardens, 15 Causeway Street. Backstage phone. Look at all that. Hall manager. Capacity 12,188. Showtime 7:30 p.m. Doors open 6. Promoter Don Law Company is the promoter. That's pretty cool.
Hang on.
Very cool.
Next page is about that date, I guess. This is the next day.
Yeah, that's Hempstead, New York. They're going to Nassau Coliseum, Holiday Inn in Hempstead. Pizza neck of the woods out there. Distance to venue 1 mile, I guess, the Nassau Coliseum. July 26th, 1980. That was a Saturday. And can you lift it up a little bit? Yeah, venue, Nassau Coliseum. Can you lift it up, Tony? Yeah, Nassau Mitchell Field Complex, Uniondale, New York. Backstage phone. Let's see. Promoter, Mark Puma presents. Showtime 8 p.m. And then after that, notes time 3 hours. Oh, 3 hours from Los Angeles. I guess their home base.
Yeah.
They want to know what time zone. Anybody wants to know what time zone they're in?
Yeah.
Staying at Holiday Inn.
Oh, and then the next, I guess they had a
Ramada Inn, Louisville, Kentucky.
Very rock star, does it? They
Wow.
stay at Ramada.
Yeah. So that's. But yeah. So this is of all the ones I've got.
Nice.
The oldest one I've got a couple from '82, but this is the oldest one.
You got the
now.
right one, though. You got the correct
This is the oldest
Yeah.
one.
Keith said that was their first headlining show in the New York area. That one at Nassau Coliseum in July of 1980.
Nice.
Keith Campbell said that.
You gotta have a jumpsuit. You gotta have that flair to the hair, and like, it's just so much that 1980 vibe.
Yeah.
You gotta have the big pickaxe, and I love that recreation. Who did the recreation? Was that Chris Hubbard that did that? The recreation photo of Eddie with the pickaxe and then all the guitars.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
I believe so. Yeah.
Was that who did it? I think it was him.
Yeah,
It was brilliant because he lined up the shop. He's got a very artistic eye, obviously. But he lined up the shop perfectly. It literally looks like he just like swapped out. Him with or Eddie with him. But it was actually him. He recreated the whole scene.
Huh.
Christopher Live Sour. Keith Moon put a car in the pool at the Holiday Inn, Flint, Michigan.
Oh, wow.
I heard, I think it was Mick Jagger was on Howard Stern, and he said that somebody broke into his hotel room at night. I don't know if they were wearing like might have been a Halloween mask from the movie Halloween.
Oh.
And came at Mick Jagger, and Jagger was ready to, I guess he got something, he was going to like stab him. And Jagger had a knife and was going to stab him because it was thought of somebody in his room. And he kept saying, and Keith Moon kept saying, "It's Keith, it's Keith." And Jagger said, he thought he was Keith Richards. He said, "You're not Keith. I can tell your voice. You're not Keith." He's like that. And he was ready to stab the guy, and he had to pull the mask up and said, "No, it's Keith Moon, Keith Moon." I guess so. That was a cool story.
Funny.
Anyway, did some wild stuff.
Wolfgang just texted. I guess the New York Knicks, our New York Knicks, are using Mammoth WVH on a Knicks commercial. This is awesome. And Mammoth WVH, don't back down. And Wolfgang tweeted, "Well, dang, that's pretty cool." You can see.
I've been hearing his music at hockey games.
Hold it still. Nice.
Yeah, don't back down. They're using on the Knicks commercial. That's good.
I watched some professional football this past weekend, which I haven't watched any in probably 15 years, and it was slightly enjoyable.
Yeah.
I'm not a sports person, but it was all right.
And you guys read that Michael Christopher book yet? The Eruption After the Aftershock?
Yeah, we had him on here.
I just got it. I didn't start it yet.
He's in Iceland right now promoting it. He was in Reykjavik the last few days. I saw some pictures. It looked pretty cool.
He's a nice enough dude. I
Yeah,
like him.
he is. Yeah, we should have him back on here now that the book is out.
Yeah. Cool books
That
out
one?
lately.
A lot of the books came out were very cool books.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
That one.
Yeah, I'm going to Florida next week, so I figured do some
Yeah, read it on the plane.
reading on the plane.
There you go.
I'm going to text Donnie Ward because I'm going to Naples, and that's where he is.
That's where he's based out of, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to, I want to maybe take a look at his shop. He's got some pretty nice guitars too.
Yeah, he's a what do you call, like a master luthier type of guy. He does incredible work, that guy.
And he's a sweetheart. He's a nice dude.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. He does incredibly good work. Yeah.
Charles Green was running late this evening, but he is enjoying his new Frankie.
Oh, can't wait to see that.
Yeah, he is enjoying it.
I guess he unboxed it.
He did.
I got lucky with mine. I've seen some necks come out that are really dark.
Yeah.
Mine is a dark.
You got lucky.
Oh.
Mine was very dark. I stripped it all off though. It looks good now.
Yeah, this isn't bad.
No, that's not bad out of the box. That's pretty good.
You got a good one.
Yeah, you did. You got a good one.
It's the first one I got. Someone slammed the Floyd. I don't know how it happened. There's a little. I don't know if I can do it. Hold on. There's a little flap of wood right underneath here. It's thin, and it was cracked and pushed in.
Oh, really?
And I had to bring the guitar back, and he had a good relationship with his rep, and within 10 days I had a new one. So I think I got really
no, that's good.
Really lucky. This is my 5150.
Oh yeah.
So that's Chris Hubbard did this one for me. The neck relic is probably somewhere, I don't know, John, what would you figure this? 87, 88?
Yeah, I think so. That looks
Somewhere
like probably 88, right?
To me.
But this thing's both these guitars are players.
Nice.
Yeah, I really like the Frankie. It feels good. It's a nice guitar. I just gotta.
Yeah, it is.
I just gotta, mount that 1971 on it, and I'll be fine.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. When did you get it, Pete? Recently?
No, I think I got it in October last year.
Oh, okay. I'm surprised. I'm surprised Craig hasn't said, "Stavko, give me that guitar. Give me that guitar."
He's been all over me like flies on you know what.
Yeah.
And I'll probably give it to him. Why not? He does that.
Yeah.
He does that mod where I actually get a neck pickup, and he definitely fixes the horn. He knows how to, he'll make,
you're right.
Make things look pretty relic. He
yeah. Oh, it definitely does. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
He's a workhorse. He's
yeah, he is.
I was going to say, I'm surprised he doesn't just strip it down and do it from the start. And I've heard stories from, people like him saying, no, I was going to send it to you, but it wasn't. Pete, you were telling that story, and he was like, no, it wasn't right. Wasn't right. I think it was on the hockey one you have.
Oh, your Islanders.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I found a new way to do it. It wasn't right. It wasn't good. And you said he stripped it back to bare wood and started over.
Hey, that was the original Demon. That was the 5150 Demon. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's insane. Like, those are the people you want working on your stuff because it's not about the money. It's about, no, I got to get it right.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a nice looking guitar, though.
Oh, hell yeah, it is.
It really is.
Yeah, goodness.
Yeah.
That's who you want working on your stuff, you know?
Yeah.
To that level.
As he likes to say, he's not scared. He'll he'll try, and he'll study, and
he's good at everything he does, though, Craig. You know, that guy, he could take apart an engine, I think, and just put it all back to, you know, and give him 3 hours, he'll probably put the whole thing back together again. You know what I mean? He's that kind of guy. Everything he touches, he figures out how to be good at it, I think.
My son has a term for that. He says he's built Diffie.
Yeah, it's funny.
You know,
I'm very close with Craig, and like I'll talk to him on a Saturday morning. I'm like, guys, so what are you doing today? Well, I gotta do some weed whacking, mow the lawn, replace the septic tank. I gotta drop the tranny in my wife's car. I gotta paint 3. Like by the time I'm done with what his day looks like, I feel like I have to take a nap. Like it's just.
That's it.
Just he's a friggin' machine from the second his feet hit the floor in the morning, you know, until his head hits the pillow at night.
I went up to his place over the summer and I looked at all the work he had to do, and I'm like, oh my God.
How about when he's posted a couple times long shots and there's like 20 some bodies like staggered perfectly. I'm like, whoa.
And I'm like, I don't know how is he going to do this. He's got a full-time job and other stuff too going on. He's got kids, you know, like that. And then I went up there like about, I'd say 3 weeks ago, and I couldn't believe it. He had it. It was like everything was moving along. I was like, man, look at this, Craig. You know, you could see your wet, dry, wet setup now. You can actually get to it. It was like,
he's starting to make a dent.
Yeah.
But but also take it from the source. This is a guy that showed up at Con 3 years ago with his first creation. Never built a guitar in his life. To
now look,
70 of them in his basement.
Yeah, and you know what? And he just gets better and better at it because some of those those Ernie Ball Music Man ones up there, oh my gosh, they were just insane. The quilts on them, the neck, the feel of the neck. I mean, it was just they were just incredible. They just look beautiful. I mean, it's like eye candy when you go there. It's incredible. He's really got it going on.
He's got it going on. He does.
He does.
You might get a bunch of people up there next year.
Yeah.
I think I got an EVH boner.
We all do. It kind of looks like that, you know.
I wanted to cop. I didn't have any coverage for my kids, but it's not too bad for me. I'm about 3 hours. I'm just outside of Philadelphia.
Yeah, you're not that far. We had a couple of people from Philly area. Les Paul's from down there. Les Paul Gibson, which is his real name, by the way.
That's awesome.
On his driver's license. He's from down there. And Adam usually comes from Scott Smith, Adam Reaver. And Scott
I'm like 25 or 30 minutes from Adam. We're like kind of on, he's, northeast from me, I guess.
Listen, I will say, if it wasn't for Con, I don't know John.
Yeah.
And I don't know Craig. I don't know Joe. I don't know Jimmy. I knew Steve. I knew Dave for years because the first time I met Dave, we were on the same bill together. We were playing some outdoor gig in Oyster Bay, and my drummer was like, "You got to meet this guy. He's a huge Van Halen dude." I'm like, and that's I met Dave 10, 12 years ago. But a lot of people. I mean, it's all you guys. I mean, it's insane. Through the Van Halen community, just who I actually could call a friend, not someone just,
Yeah, it's just the only thing that sucks is it's like, man, I wish we had this internet like 30 years ago. You know what I mean? when Van Halen was like really very active in touring, because it would have been great to be like, hey Pete, I'll see you at Nassau Coliseum, let's
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And I think we would have done that, like crazy, hardcores like all of us are.
We all crossed paths and never realized
in the chat, you know what I mean? The same as the people in the chat, Keith Campbell and people like that. Keith lived like 35 minutes from me. He's not that far from me. If I was like, I wish I would have known Keith back then. I mean, we could have went to the Meadowlands together. Stuff like that.
And most likely were at a lot of the same shows together.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
He was that guy you looked over and went, yeah.
Like I say, the earliest recollection of any kind of internet stuff that I have as far as Van Halen is the Van Halen mailing list. And those names, Jimmy Vombis, I remember Jimmy from the Van Halen mailing list. I remember Rob Johnson. There's a whole bunch of other people too that I remember from that. And so, I kind of knew them, and I go, that's why I first met Jimmy. I go, I finally get to meet you like 20 years later, in person. But, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah. The bottom line, we all found each other, right?
That's it, exactly.
Yeah.
Just happened a little late, that's all.
Yeah.
So next year, EVH Con 7.
7.
And hopefully all this COVID nonsense is just over.
Yeah, hopefully it's in the rearview mirror, and then and we'll see what next year brings with the EVH Con.
Yeah.
I mean, I threw up a bunch of pictures on that Van Halen group, and just hundreds of like, where is this? And I'm like, oh man, what the hell did I just do? We can't have 250 people converge on Joe's store either.
Right.
So, again, I'm sure you will, John. I'm sure I'll talk to Joe. Like, bottom line is this: if we want to make it big, it could be big. But the bigger it gets, there's probably going to be money attached to it. Yeah, I mean that's the only way. It's the only way it can be done. Right now it's easy. Joe has a shop. You don't have to charge anyone to walk in there.
Right.
But he's not Rockefeller. None of us are, right? We can't just, go get a venue, blow 7,000 for people just to show up, whatever it may be.
Well, this could, even if he doesn't want it to get huge, it could get huge accidentally.
Yeah, listen, we'll call up Wolf. Ask if we can do it at the house. No one's in it. Let's do it at the house. Have Ed Con at Ed's house. Now that would be something, wouldn't it? That'd be crazy one day if that compound turns into a Graceland. It'll never happen. Just the family's not built that way. Yeah. But it would be kind of cool just to walk that property, even if they didn't let you in the building. I would love to just walk past the front of it, walk over the pavement where they shot the driveway with the stripes, and then just send us on our merry way. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
I mean, I've definitely trespassed there, so. Yeah.
Let me ask you guys: Are you guys planning on going to see Mammoth in New York?
Yes.
I'm definitely thinking about going. February 1 in New York is an X factor. But I just.
That's the thing.
Yeah, right? February 1? Yeah, that's when he's Webster Hall.
That's right after the show I'm going to.
And right before the show I'm going to.
I'm going January 30th, is it?
Yeah. Let's talk about that. Is that the show you would go to, John? The Webster Hall show?
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Maybe we'll grab Suma, Craig. Maybe we got a little group going, maybe.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
That'll be fun.
That's a great idea. Yeah, you know what? Start making some calls. Talk to Craig. We'll talk to Suma. Get a group together.
That'd be awesome.
Okay. Awesome.
All right, guys, this has been great. Thanks for having me spend the night with you, fine gentlemen.
Yeah, Pete, thanks for hanging out, dude. Yeah. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, too.
Yeah, Pete, MVP, EVH Con, EVH 6.
That was dude. I told Rob,
Dude, when that summer nights, when you pull that bar up, when you that end, when you locked it, and you go back to that,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was like what Eddie used to say, the fur rise on your arm. That was like and even yeah, hell yeah, man, it was great.
Dude, that was ballsy. I mean, it's not like I play that guitar.
No,
I didn't realize you have one of these, and I just ran away with it.
I said to my friend Gary, I go, I don't know if Pete has a Steinberger because he played it like he had one. I used to have one of those things, and I had it for 3 years, and I was just like, I sold it. I was like, forget it, because I couldn't have the calibration. I could never get it to stay in tune when you pulled it up. It was just and I just didn't have any attention span to do it, so I just like forgot. I gave up on it. But man, when you played it the other night, I'm like, when did Pete get a Steinberger? Because he plays it like he's like, he knew exactly where to pretty much pull that thing up. You know what I mean? It was like.
And popping it out, yeah, it was fun.
You got that thing near you, Pete?
What, the Steinberger?
Yeah.
No, it's not mine. I
just and that has little notches on it. I mean, you got to lock it in. You got to like land on the right notch to do it.
Whose is it? Rob's?
No, I played Scott Smith's.
Oh.
But I will say something strange about that guitar. So, again, the whole concept of a trans trem is you could go 3.5 steps above 440. You pull it back and lock it, right? That's so when you hear the beginning riff of Summer Nights, it's really in, I don't know, B flat, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So, but you're playing it a regular G chord. Yeah. And if you listen to the intro, when you hear it go, down, down, bow, he's literally just releasing it. It's popping back to 440.
It's a standard, yeah.
So, but it's weird because it's not.
But you could easily lock it in the wrong spot.
You can lock it in the wrong spot. So, on Scott's Burger, there was there's a post that comes off the trans trem, and off the bar, it's a little
notch.
It's a notched, small piece of metal that has, about 7 different locking mechanisms. And to do what Ed does, it's like 2 notches before the top. But on Scott's, he has a notched post, a very pronounced notched post. So I was able to see it clear as death that I was going in the right way. Where on Rob's guitar, once you bring it close, you lose the ridge. You like almost have to nail it right. And playing Scott's, when I was bringing it up to go back into the lick, I'm like, wow, it's right there. Yeah. And I just locked it in. It was that was the first time I even remotely tried to play it on that guitar and a band at the same time. But when I was getting it to land in the right spot, I'm like, this is awesome.
We were talking about the Van Halen cover bands. Van Hagar, Bill Kelly, he plays that. I mean, on a regular guitar. And it sounds good the way he does it. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's barring his finger here and coming up here and doing it like this. I wonder if he's doing something like
That's it. He's playing it up 3 steps. He's barring everything.
Yeah, he's doing it like that. He's holding his hands like that. But and tell you what, it sounded good when I saw him play that night. I was like, wow, it sounds great. So
yeah, he pulls it off without a doubt.
Yeah. We got to try to get him on here when we do that show. So that'll be in the future coming up.
He'll be glad to do it. I'll put a bug in his ear about it. And message him. He'll gladly do it.
Yeah. Let's before we get gone, let's take care of a couple of things. We got a cool show coming up Saturday of this week. Show me your pick. We are going to have Greg Collins of Legend Picks. There's the card for it. He's made picks for Rush, for Kiss, and gosh, the list is huge, and he's been doing it a long time, and he's got a lot of stories. And we're going to meet him and learn. I'm going to learn a lot more about how they're made and what they're made out of, etc. Um, and he is also, where is it at? He is the maker of
Halenville.
these puppies.
Nice.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, and he'll be right here on Saturday. Show me your pick, 9 p.m. Eastern, and that's the 13th Saturday. Yeah. All right. So our very own Brendan B. Squared
There he is.
handcrafts custom cigar box guitars, and some of which look like this.
There you go.
His links are in the description. Yeah.
Yeah, they were very cool. They were very cool.
And if you want a custom build, Neil Daly will be happy to talk to you. His links are down below. Yeah. And I'm sure that we will see Charles's Frankie again next week.
What did you unbox it on Saturday night? And
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say where was I didn't remember that. All right.
Yeah. He wanted to on Saturday on that, but yeah. Neil joined us, so yeah. I'm sure he will be showing it off regularly. Anything else I am missing? Yeah, Legend Picks. His link is down below in the description. He makes great looking pics. And all right, those of you with tattoos, Ink the Original, essential tattoo care, high grade formulas with organic ingredients to hydrate and protect, and they are environment and reef safe to help you fight the fade. Take care of your ink, especially if you have new ink. Great way to take care of it. Yeah. And I think that is all. Pete, dude, thanks for being here, man.
Thanks for having me on.
You are the man.
It was
Good man,
fun.
Pete.
I had a good time.
Thanks, Pete.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, guys. Signing off, Johnny. I'll talk to you. All right.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, Pete. We're right behind you, dude.
Have a good one, guys. Be good.
All right.
Take care.
Guys and gals, have a great week. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not, and we'll be right back here next Wednesday night talking all things Van Halen once again. And yeah, I think. Yeah. All right. So everyone, thanks so much. Nice to see you. We'll see you next Wednesday. See ya.